My short-term rental portfolio is pacing 30% ahead of last year right now. And every year since I started, my portfolio revenue has grown 15 to 20% every single year. That's really fun to say. I own 4 properties, just 4, on the beach, in the mountains, 2 mountains actually, ski, and on the river in Texas. And I want to tell you how I picked each one, because the truth is the numbers were only a small part of the story. I was really looking for something more. The data couldn't quite show me everything that I needed to know. In this video, I'll walk you through all of it, what I saw in each market, what I was really paying attention to, and how you can start looking at markets the same exact way. If you can learn to see what's coming next in a market, it'll give you a real edge. Let me show you what I mean. Here's how I think about it. The data tells you where a market has been. It doesn't quite tell you where it's going. So when I evaluate a market, I'm asking, what is this place going to look like in 3 to 5 years? Not where it is right now, not where it's been. That's what's different about what most people look at when they look at a market. What's about to change here that other investors might not have noticed yet? That's where the real opportunity is. I have 4 properties. It's not a huge portfolio, and I don't want it to be, so they really need to work. They're very intentional. They support both my retirement and the life I want to live now and in the future. And every one of them was chosen the same way. Sure, I looked at the numbers. I looked at them hard. I looked at where they had been, but I was really looking for what would make that location better in the future, what was going to make it grow way more than other places. Let me show you exactly what I did, because that is where it really starts to click. My first property was in Steamboat Springs. If you've watched some of my videos, you may know that already. My family had been going there for decades, so I knew the area really well, and that helped a lot. But what made it actually move forward for me wasn't just the familiarity. At the time, Steamboat had just been acquired by Aspen. You've probably heard of Aspen, one of the biggies, right? And there was a lot of uncertainty around that. People didn't really know what it meant, but I had paid attention to what they were planning to do with the area. They were going to redevelop the base, add a second gondola, invest heavily in the resort experience. And then there was something even more important. There were real constraints on supply, limited space to build around the base, increased licensing restrictions for short-term rentals. So I looked at that and thought, okay, demand's about to increase, supply is constrained. That's important. That's a very strong position. So that wasn't obvious in the numbers yet. But over time, that absolutely has showed up in my revenues and my property values. It's really showing now. So that's the pattern I started looking for everywhere. That made me really think about it differently. Demand increasing, supply constrained. So let me show you how that same pattern is playing out in 3 completely different markets. Property number 2, Orange Beach. I wanted a beach property. I started in Florida, but it didn't fit my budget, so I shifted to Orange Beach, Alabama. And again, the numbers alone weren't really what made the decision, but it was a combination of things. Lower insurance costs than Florida. Florida had really gone up. A massive state park that prohibited overdevelopment in Orange Beach. And here's the biggie. There's a nearby airport that's going commercial now. And that was 2 years ago that I bought. So a little slower burn there, but it's working. Things are really growing now. Property 3, Gruene, Texas, near New Braunfels. Here's where I was really paying attention. We would go to concerts at Green Hall because it was kind of close to where I lived. There was no transportation there. There were no new condos on the river. And I thought, why is there no place to stay nearby here? It's a really popular place to go to concerts, no new development. So I just started paying attention. Everybody goes to concerts here. Everybody loves to tube on the river. As soon as there was a new development on the river, I jumped on it. Huge performer. Asheville, North Carolina is my 4th property. I met a girl online, went to look at her property there, and she said, hey, there's a ski resort right here that's closed down right now, but they're redeveloping it. And I thought, wait, closed down, they're redeveloping it. When's it going to open? They said right away, didn't really feel like it was going to be right away. Sure enough, it took about a year, but I went ahead and bought the house. It took a little longer than expected. We even had a hurricane, but that property is just booming now. It's now trending 150% higher than what it was last year. I bought it early. Things were changing rapidly. The numbers weren't the signal at all. The signal was a ski resort that was closed down. So the signal for you might be something really different, a new employer moving in, a university growing, something totally different than what I had. But the question is always, what's about to shift in your market that hasn't been priced in yet? Because the numbers aren't going to show you that. Now, let's be clear, the numbers do matter. You need them. I use them every time. But the numbers alone, that's what everyone else has. If you want to have that edge, if you want to outperform everyone else, you got to start asking a different question. Not, is this a good market today? That's what everyone else is asking. But what's the market going to look like in 5 years? That's where the real opportunities are. If you'd like to learn how I actually evaluate markets and run the numbers once I find a good one, including the financial model that I built for my own portfolio, I teach all of that inside STR JumpStart. That's the full masterclass, and it walks through market selection, financial modeling, and operations from start to finish. You can find it at strjumpstart.com. If this was helpful, hit subscribe. I share what's been working in my portfolio every week. Thanks. See you soon.